Well guys, here is the first ever HOI4 game that was finally able to finish. I've been playing HOI4, which for all of you who don't know, since this is the first video I've done on it, HOI4 is basically the Vicky 2 of World War II. That's what takes place in from 1936 to 1948. I've been playing this game since like the end of 2019, but I didn't get the game till like January of 2020. And although I've put almost 200 hours into it, I never was able to beat a full game because this game, just like EU4, is just way too hard for me. But thankfully, with Imperialists and a couple of other people that are nice in the community, since most of this community is toxic as fuck to new people, like EU4 is in a lot of ways, I was able to try and do some things on my own. So, this was my first full game as Turkey. Now, I've actually tried playing Turkey before, but I remember a couple of times where I tried to take on Greece or Bulgaria, and for some reason Turkey has like terrible supply situation to begin the game. I would get roll stomped by them, even though it would make like the correct army brigades and all that. It was just so bad, mostly because of no supply. So I decided to give them a try again, and this time around I flipped them to fascists, and I fought Bulgaria before World War II broke out, and they actually pushed back a little bit, but since I had so many troops, I was able to just sneak on through and just take them over. And then, I actually attacked Greece. And, to my surprise, it actually wasn't even that hard. Which is funny, since playing as Italy and others, I've had a difficult time playing as them. And I didn't even naval invade them. I just went down here, because I had Bulgaria, so I was able to crush them easily over here. Moved down here with no effort. They did push back a little bit when I took over Athens. They took it back for a little bit, but I quickly took it over. Had a little bit of time taking them over, but taking over Greece wasn't that hard. Then the real first challenge of the game was Yugoslavia. Now, beating Yugoslavia wasn't the issue. The issue was I had to beat Yugoslavia within like 2 months or so because Germany was also doing a Casus at the same time. And if I didn't take them over, Germany would attack them. Yugoslavia would join the Allies, and therefore all the Allies would be at war with me too, because of Germany. So, that was the problem. It wasn't beating Yugoslavia, it was beating them fast enough. And it took multiple restarts before I finally was able to beat them quick enough. It was so annoying and so frustrating because of Germany doing that to me. And of course, to make sure nothing bad happened to me, with Germany maybe later attacking me, I actually made Slovenia here a puppet for the meanwhile. I was thinking about maybe in the future taking them over, but it never happened. Okay, so after that, World War I already broke out World War II broke out by then, but it was largely quiet for me, as then I decided to head down south, as I took over Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Iran, Afghanistan. I got them all like done really quickly. Iraq, believe it or not, Iraq was actually a pain. Like, it took us a few months to actually beam up here somehow. They were really holding off very well before I finally got them. Saudi Arabia, quick. Oman, quick. Yemen was actually the quickest I ever did. And I had 24 stacked troops up here, and they actually just plowed through pretty much with not much effort. Iran was a little bit, but it was easier because I had 48 troops in total over here, so I took them over really quickly. Afghanistan, oh boy, Afghanistan was quite a pain with 48 troops, but finally did it. So then it was 1942 when it was all over, so I spent the next 2 years just sitting back and not doing anything and building my stuff because I was torn on who to go after. I could have gone after the Soviets, but they were busy fighting the Axis, and I was torn between, should I go after the Allies and take all this stuff from the British so I could maybe form the Ottoman Empire? Of course, I would not be in a good spot with all the Allies around me, but then there was another option, go after the Axis, because Italy and Germany had like Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, all that, and to me that was more vital. Oh, and Albania, this area too, and Trieste. So I decided to attack the Axis instead, even though I was fascist. So, in the end of 1944 into 1945, I attacked. Took quite a bit to... We took over this stuff really quickly, and we pushed up through Romania and Bulgaria and all them slowly. We took over all the stuff down here slowly, but once we got that, we quickly took over, like, Cairo area, slowly advanced outwards. Then, somehow, they were actually beating the shit out of us out here, and they pushed me all the way back to, like, here. Before the rest of the Allies came in, we pushed them out, and of course, France took Tripoli back, because I had to join the Allies in order for them to help me, which was really annoying. So we did that, and I eventually expanded all the way out here, took all this. And once we were done with Africa, I sent my troops back up here, and it was a slow grind, but we managed to push into Germany somewhat. And I actually made it into Berlin myself, because I took over, like, all this area myself. And Prague became the first site of the nuclear weapon. And we dropped, and Turkey dropped one too, somewhere south of Prague. So even though Germany had, like, all of the Soviet Union out here still under their control, they were defeated, which was awesome. But the war wasn't over yet, as it was now 1946, and we were still fighting Japan. And we literally spent the next, like, 5 years fighting them. Like, they would not just give up. We kicked them out of mostly Southeast Asia. I took over Java, Sumatra. No, this is Sumatra, this is Java, and I kicked them out over here. We had to keep fighting them back and forth to kick them out Borneo. I took over part of the Philippines. But largely, the war was largely a stalemate other than that, and we kept nuking Japan. We dropped bombs down Southeast Asia, Sumatra, Java, parts of China, all major cities in Japan. We just kept bombing. No one can get there because no one can get naval superiority, despite me having thousands and thousands of planes and bombers over Japan and all that, before America finally was able to invade southern Japan. They slowly moved up to like here before Japan finally gave up and all that. But they didn't give up till 1951. But before they gave up, the Allies attacked the Soviet Union. And another thing too I forgot to mention, during the war, because I was... The Allies, when we were attacking Germany, kicked me out of the Allies, so I joined the Comintern. So I was actually a fascist country in the Comintern. That's crazy. But I stayed out of the war, and I actually left the Comintern, and I decided, wow, after we took care of Japan, with the Soviets being weak, because although Germany was part of this Comintern as well, they took over, like, all of, like, this area, and Poland pushed deep into, like, here. I thought the Soviets were going to be the weaker target, so I decided to attack them and join the Allies again. Well, no, I didn't join the Allies. I stayed neutral, but I was helping them. And I took over, like, all of this right here. We nuked more into Soviet Union, like Moscow and all that, before finally, in May of 1953, the Soviet Union gave up in January of 1953, but Germany was the last to give up finally in May of 1953 before the war finally ended. 14 years of fighting it took. It took till 1945 for Germany to collapse. Japan would not give up till 1951, and the Soviets got, like, obliterated all the way to here by Germany, still won the war, then they got obliterated out here by Japan, and then they got obliterated again by the Allies and me, as Turkey. I didn't get to form the Ottoman Empire, sadly, because I need Kuwait in order to do that, and I wasn't going to go to war with the Allies. So, but hey, that's still quite a big expansion, too. As you see, Russia was the big losing war, and almost everyone in the game is... Let's see, I think it's, yeah, right here. Everyone in the game is part of the Allies, except for Mongolia being the only member of the Comintern. China has its fronts, although China itself is part of the Allies, and everyone else is non-aligned. But wait, what's this? It's, okay, Spain is neutral, but this has a different color. That's really weird. But yeah, that's how the war ended up. First full time playing a game as Turkey, and of course the first full game as HOI4. Hope you all enjoyed that. And here is the final results too at the end of it. As, let me leave, gotta go to the main menu. Yeah, see. 4th place in the end. The UK number 1, somehow despite losing parts of Africa. America number 2, surprisingly kind of low. Russia, despite being obliterated, somehow 3rd place, and then Turkey 4th place, just barely edging out India. Army is really small. Navy got obliterated multiple times. 4th biggest Air Force. 5th biggest industry. We're actually tied with the British, and we're not that far away from France. So, technically we're 4th, almost 5th, 3rd, and we were the biggest territory in the area too. So, nice. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed that, and here is the final map.